NJ Transit has seen a lot of excursions. You may have even heard of a few, especially in recent years. But NJ Transit has a good amount of excursions through its history. Today we're going to look at as many as we can. The first NJ Transit excursion took place on July 20th, 1980. While technically under NJ DOT, we're still going to count it. It was sponsored by the Jersey Central chapter of the National Rail Historical Society. During this excursion, 4 XCNJ NJ DOT RDCs would run on the Moris and Essex lines with Lackawanna decals on the front of each car. Okay, so there's no actual photos online of it, but here's what the excursion looked like. You can see it got the Lackawanna decals here, and 4 RDCs on the Moris and Essex lines. So this is what it looked like if you were curious. On October 29th, 1983, NJ Transit would run its final train operating the GG1, known as a farewell to the GG1 excursion, not to be confused with Amtrak's own GG1 excursion by the same name. It was powered by GG1 number 4877, also known as Old Big Red, and was operated by the United Railway Historical Society of New Jersey. The train consisted of mostly NJ DOT painted Pullman coaches, but also had an older heritage coach also owned by the URHS. Two years later came the Queen of the Valley excursion. Powered by 3 NJ DOT painted E8 diesels, this excursion took riders from Newark, New Jersey to Conrail's Bethlehem engine terminal. It went westbound towards Bethlehem on the former CNJ main line, returning east on ex-Lehigh Valley trackage. People got to tour Bethlehem shops in the same way that people who rode the AARP excursion got to tour Amtrak's Wilmington shops. Next up, we have an excursion from October of 1984, more specifically the Moris Town and Erie's excursion from Hoboken, New Jersey, all the way to Jim Thorpe and Hawks, Pennsylvania. Powered by 3 Alco Century Series diesels, this excursion, while not technically operated by NGT, was operated on their trackage, so it counts. Just a year later, and also during fall, was the farewell of the CNJ excursion. This one took place on November 24th, 1985, with NJ DOT E8s 4248, 4267, and 4253. This excursion commemorated the end of CNJ passenger service to Phillipsburg after 133 years of service. While not fully NJ DOT sponsored, on October 10th, 1987, NJ DOT E8 number 4253 was displayed at the Whippany Railway Museum for the Railroad Festival. On June 11th, 1989, the United Railway Historical Society of New Jersey, or simply URHS, sponsored an excursion called the Museum Special. It operated to Flemington, New Jersey, trying to gain support for a statewide railroad system and museum. It used the Black River and Western Railroad to get around the Flemington area. The Poconos Express ran from Hoboken to Honesdale, Pennsylvania, powered by 2 Erie E8 passenger locomotives. Besides the excursion date of October 16, 1993, there isn't really much to say here. Now, let's talk about the one that really matters, and the one that you've probably heard of. The farewell to the U34 CH excursion was hosted by the URHS on August 27, 1994. With 2 U34 CH engines on each end, 4172 and 4176. Obviously, this excursion ran to commemorate the retirement of the beloved General Electric U34 CH diesels. The excursion ran all over the ex-Erie-Lackawanna lines of the Hoboken Division. I won't say too much here, as I plan to make a full video on this excursion at some point, so stay tuned for that. Just a few months later, in October of 1994, came the American Association of Railroad Private Car Owners Convention. Now, this happens yearly, so why mention it? Well, this time around to be hosted at Hoboken Terminal at that year's Hoboken Rail Fest. Side note, Rail Fest happens yearly at Hoboken Terminal, so we're not going to mention it here. In June of 1995, Lehigh Valley F7s ran on the Hoboken Division, hosted by the URHS. The Metro North's White Plains shops had painted the former Chicago Northwestern F7s in the LV livery, so in order to do this, excursion, they had to be transferred over to NJT. Chesapeake, Ohio 614 would visit Hoboken in October of 1996 to ride on the Bergen, Port Jervis, and Main lines. Iron Horse Enterprises, who owned 614, helped fund the excursion, nicknamed the Autumn Leaf Excursion. The excursion lasted for 6 days. Before this, a dry run ran from Hoboken to Port Jervis on September 21st of that year to confirm scheduling for the excursion and confirm that their logistics were correct. It also doubled as a photo charter for rail fans. Fast forward to August of 2023, and NJ Transit has turned 40 years old. In conjunction with the United Railway Historical Society, an excursion would run covering all 3 legacy systems of NJ Transit, except for the PRSL. These included the CNJ, the Erie-Lackawanna, and the Pennsylvania Railroad. The first half would be done by 2 electric ALP-46 locomotives. These wouldn't just be any 2 locomotives, but Heritage Units 4636, the Pennsylvania Railroad unit, and newly wrapped 4640, the retro/ALP-44 tribute locomotives. Then, rail fans would get to witness an engine change at South Amboy, changing from the Heritage units to 2 F40PH-2 Cats, 4119 and 4120 to cover the diesel division and parts of the Northeast Corridor. You're probably wondering why this is being recorded, and that's because I'd like to share that a lot of the information from this video came from this book. This is the NJ Transit Rail Operations book by Yoel, I'm not pronouncing that. But this book has a ton of information on NJT. As you can see, check this out. It's got a bunch of history on every line here, and for the case of this video, this was very helpful. This is the special promotions and excursions page. As you can see, all of the excursions in this video, with the exception of the 40-year anniversary, came from this book here. So as you can see, here they all are. Some interesting things I did not mention in the video, like the fact that the CNJ excursion had this little CNJ decal. All of these are really cool, and I recommend that if you find this book, you should definitely pick it up. It is very hard to come by, so if you can find it, good for you. If not, oh well. And thank you everyone for watching, and have a nice day.